This episode of The Mimic's Veil is dedicated to our newest Patreon supporters, Phil and Sarah. Woo! If you'd like to support us, gain access to our Patreon exclusive podcast and our members only Discord, go to patreon.com/The Mimic's Veil. And on this episode, Alex, Ben and Lewis discuss Liquid Death, Cats, Big Rooms, Prince of Persia and Phantom Spark.
What a lovely little game. I was very surprised by how Phantom Spark plays, how quick it is at restarting. It's got that perfect like one more try element to it. Like the scenes are gorgeous, the music is lovely. It's just, I didn't know what to expect of this game. I seen it and I thought, well, that looks like quite an Alex game, a little racer, like small circuits. But the whole UI, the whole experience of it is just so nicely put together. And just, I very much feel like it's flown under the radar a bit, but it's just such a good addictive game, because I went to play something else earlier today and I'd still had Phantom Spark running on the Steam Deck, and I'm like, right. And then I think I ended up playing that for the best part of 40 minutes before I went to play what I actually went to start to play, because I'm like, oh, I can do this, I can get that. And the way it's structured, like, you've got like, I can't remember what they call them, but like each of the
we should probably explain what it is.
Yeah, so essentially it is just like a little, like, it's almost like a story-driven racing game. It's not really a story, but you need to go and like understand the champions or something they call them. But I think there's a few different champions. You're basically getting to know a bit about them, how they race, and you essentially go through all these different trials or different like time trial tracks, and essentially you get 3 times that you need to hit. So you've got like one that gives you like an affinity of 1, and then if you get the faster time, it's almost like getting a gold, silver or bronze medal on something if you get like hit that time. But basically the first time you go into it, it just lets you go and race the level yourself. It will show you almost like in a drive, like an aerial view as you're starting it, to get bits to understand the track. And then it lets you do it, but where the phantom bit comes into it, so after you've completed one attempt, it will then give you ghosts, and it'll give you the ghost of like the person whose area it is that you are that you're kind of getting to know, and it'll give you like your last ghost. And then you can also like each time ask for a new ghost if you want to go a bit faster or a bit faster. But when I say like the tracks, it's not really a track, it's more of just,
it's like a sequence of a track.
It's a sequence of a track. I
forget what they call it. I can't remember the exact version of it.
But essentially it's, I'm trying to think, there's like 30-40 seconds most of it, so it's like really short bits. It's not like you're doing laps of this thing and you need to like complete 5 laps in under 3 minutes or something, until you get to like almost, it's not even, the way it's structured, it almost feels like a boss battle, but it's almost that way. You're getting to the end race, and then the end race is almost like everything you've learned are put together into like one big sequence. But then if you make a little mistake, you can just hit like Y and it starts again, and you're immediately, and it's instantaneous, like you're back at the beginning. So you
actually
almost
really, I love that way that it that you start a run as well. Like you, rather than just waiting and then it goes 3, 2, 1, go. That countdown only starts when you're holding in the right trigger, like to accelerate. So like you can do it in your own time, but you just hold it down, and then you see the little orbs come up, and that's your 3, 2, 1, go basically. Like you said, Alex, it's just little touches like that, and that whole how quick it is to restart. It's got a kind of arcadey roguelike kind of one more go thing to it, hasn't it? Because the runs are so quick. It's really unique, actually.
Yeah.
That sort of like Zen presentation to it, and almost getting in that Zen flow state to get through the bit of track that you're doing as perfectly as possible and beat those ghosts. I found it really addictive trying to get like 100, like 3 affinity, is it?
Affinity,
on each
that's it, isn't
on
it?
each level. It's really sort of Moorish, and I didn't know what to expect, because I think probably one of the reasons it's flown under the radar is shit name. Again,
It's not great.
so nondescript, isn't it? Like Phantom Spark.
I think it's also that way. Was there not years ago there was like Project Spark or something for Xbox, which was a random thing, and I think it almost makes you think of that, and I don't think it really sells what the game is.
No.
I think more seeing it and hearing it and feeling it is. Well, I mean, that's obviously going to tell you what a game is, but like it's
Obviously playing it for hours.
yes,
Yeah.
I think
But it's unfortunate that you kind of have to do that, because even like a screenshot doesn't fully do it justice when you see it in motion. It is actually you played it on PlayStation, didn't you?
Yeah, I started on PlayStation, and then because it was in the family library, then I've been playing it more on Steam Deck. But I think, and the reason why I did that is because I assumed there'd be some sort of friends leaderboard on it, but it's not. It gives you a leaderboard and like a global leaderboard at the end of each of the areas, so it's got one for each one, and you see it when you finish. But it doesn't give you any option to like filter it or anything to like see like friends times. And I think maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing, because as you said, it is quite zen, even though for what you're doing, like the whole experience is quite zen. And I think if you were chasing a friends leaderboard or a friends ghost, I don't think it would be quite as competitiveness would really kick in.
That's the thing. Playing it reminded me of doing the license tests on Gran Turismo 7. Because it is just those quick runs trying to beat the best time. And where I got really into that was trying to beat like you and Laurie and your times. It wasn't hard. But no, I'm joking. But yeah, this has got that same thing to it. And I do wonder if they will do friend leaderboards, though, because it kind of feels like something that you'd want the option to look at what your friends are doing. But yeah, I'm genuinely like quite impressed with it. Really nice little clean, sort of well put together game. It almost has you mentioned that sort of story. It's not really a story, is it? But that presentation of it reminded me of like a Supergiant kind of game. Just with that, the character art popping up on screen, a little bit of dialogue. Obviously not anywhere near the same level of depth or storytelling or even writing, but it is. It's got echoes of that. It's. Does that put you right off, Lewis?
No, I'm actually watching as well as listening to you two waffle on about it. Apparently, right this very second on Steam, the developer is playing it. Well, that's what it's saying. There's someone playing it. It says it's a developer. It doesn't look very good if he is the dev. It does look really nice though. That sort of weird, almost cel shady type art style. The first thing that came in my head, because the guy was absolutely butchering a corner. It reminded me, because of the handling of the ship, it's like a ship or something. It reminded me a lot of Extreme G. Just in how I assume it's going to handle better than Extreme G, because that is nigh on impossible to control the bikes in those games. But yeah, it looks really cool. It looks really cool.
It's a bit of a sleeper.
Just as you mentioned there about like what it actually is, I think what it gives me the vibe of is almost like, see the little bug or beetle and Thumper, and the way the wings come up, and it's almost there's an element of that to it as well, like in terms of the way, because it's all about building up momentum and building up speed, and if you get a good run, like you've almost got a speed bar at the bottom which you're trying to fill, and the less like you kind of go offline, then the faster and faster and faster that you get, and almost like the wings will come up if you're like turning or if you're braking, and it's got a wee bit of that to it.
Did you say that there wasn't online leaderboards?
There's online leaderboards. There's no friend
Oh, right.
leaderboards.
Maybe it's on just on Steam then, because I guess I've got a Steam page here. Oh, it says here measure up against the best in the world and your friends with online leaderboards. So maybe
Unless I've just not worked out how to make the friends leaderboards work, or maybe you can't see it in the Steam Deck or something. You never know.
Maybe.
But look into that a bit more. But I certainly couldn't see any option to change the leaderboard.
So see that it says here that there's 30 unique pathways. Is that
Pathways? That's the one.
so? Is it all one course that's got different branching sections, or
There's like 3. I'm assuming if there's 30, it feels like there was 10 in the first one, so there must be like 3 champions.
It's like 3 worlds and 3 champions, basically.
Okay.
You have to get a certain number of affinity points, which is basically like XP to unlock the next one. But such is like the addictiveness of it. I've unlocked the next world, but I've still kept doing the first world because it's
That's
just
exactly what I did.
fun to do. Yeah.
So I finished the first world this afternoon and beat the final race of it, but then started in the second one.
Nice. Also, should mention this is the first time, at least, I've managed to get a code for the Mumix Veil.
Oh, wow.
Courtesy of our friend John at Gaming in the Wild. An excellent podcast. Go and check that out. You know that.
Interesting. You should mention him because when I googled Phantom Spark and went to images just to see what the game looked like before going to Steam, his face popped up. It's right there.
There you go. Yeah, that's him. I think he's friends with the developers. I think because he lives in Iceland. I think the developers are Reykjavik based as well. So that's how he was able to hook us up with that code.
Well, thank you very much.
But yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you, John. A very cool podcast. One of my favourite podcasts as well. It's kind of chilled out like us, but he actually knows what he's talking about. And it's quite articulate as well. So
We can't all occupy the same space.
exactly.
He doesn't.
But yeah,
have a
that's but that's Phantom Spark. Worth checking out.
Absolutely.
Lewis, Alex, and I have done a lot of talking there.
Yeah, I noticed. It's fine. It's okay, but it's good. I enjoyed listening.
What are you drinking?
Right, so this, and we're not. I mean, if you want to sponsor us, please do. This is a can, Ben. This is a can of Liquid Death.
Oh my god!
Oh, I seen this the other day.
A can of Liquid Death, severed lime. It's a sparkling mineral water that has the slogan "Murder Your Thirst." I think it's great.
What?
This ruthless tall
It's sparkling
boy.
mineral water.
Yes,
Oh, I thought it was a beer.
it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's water for men.
It doesn't talk
It's
to you,
water.
Lewis.
Hello? This ruthless tall boy flavoured sparkling water has a twisted plan to use natural agave and exploding bubbles to murder your thirst and recycle your soul.
Wow.
Great.
What are the ingredients
Water.
Let's see. Let me see here.
in this crazy
Magnifying
concoction?
glass to see this here. Do you want to have a guess what the first ingredient is?
Water.
It is indeed carbonated water. Sweeteners. Agave nectar. There's no comma there, so that is something. Natural flavouring. Citric acid. And to store in a cool, dry place. Made with ingredients from the EU. So
Oh. Hello to our
Nothing
friends
British
in
in
the
it
EU.
then.
shout out to the European Union. Keeping it real.
We miss you.
Miss you dearly. Please let us back. In fact, just
Alex regrets. Alex regrets going. No, I'm joking. Nice. I'm actually drinking a beer.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
What's your beer?
Rosa Blanca.
fans.
Just a little
Rosa Blanca.
Mallorca. A cerveza. Cerveza, baby of Bayonetta. Actually, I was in the Majestic having a look
Oh
at
yes.
some
The wine shop.
some beers. Yeah. And looking at some beers. And my 3-year-old, he's just turned 3. He looked at this. You see the blue and white of it. He went, That's Haaland beer. As in Haaland
as in
plays for Man City because he saw the colours. I thought, wow, that's quite impressive for a 3-year-old to put those two things together. But yeah. There's hope for my family yet.
Really? Yeah. You don't really like football?
Yeah, weird. I was like, who the fuck is Haaland? He explained. Yeah. Nice.
You seen Cerveza? You said there. Have you seen the Star Wars? Like in the original 1977 Star Wars, Mexican beer ads that are sort of placed throughout the whole thing. This might be totally made up, but it's something that was circulating online a little while ago. And like when Obi-Wan takes Luke Skywalker back to his house for the first time, you know, they met up, they take him back to his house, and he goes in to find his father's lightsaber. He goes and gets the lightsaber, and he opens up the case that it's in, but they've edited it so that it opens it up and it's like some bottles of beer.
I haven't seen that.
Paired with this, like, oh, it must be the theme song. It was like Cerveza Cristal. It's great. I highly recommend anybody doing Star Wars Cerveza Cristal on YouTube. Have a great time.
I will look it up.
There's a few.
Anyway, sorry, Alex, you got any special drinks on the go?
No, I'll just get some Pepsi Max.
From the soda stream.
What flavour was that?
Cherry.
Nope. Sorry, I gotta let the cat out of the pub that we're sitting in.
Yes.
Lewis, tell us what you're playing at the moment.
I'm playing Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I didn't play it when everyone else was crapping on about it. It always puts me off a game when there's so much hype. It's the same with Hades. So much hype around a game, it puts me off wanting to play it because everyone else is standing there fucking wanking on it. I don't want to fucking touch it after that. I'll give a little while before I go anywhere near it.
Let the wank really form a coating.
At least let it harden so you can just sort of scrape it off.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that. I say I've stopped because much like I guess didn't speak about it. Oh no, Quiet of the Nights. What's it called? Just
annoying me noise again, Lewis. Is it?
Yeah. Noticed a couple of things that.
Oh God.
I really found quite annoying.
Alex, I think we need to make some sort of jingle for like a segment where Lewis craps on a really good game because of one tiny, barely noticeable thing. Special segment for that. Come on, what is it? What is putting you off this 9 out of 10 across the board game?
Yeah. There are massive rooms that you're sort of traversing across, and they're all empty. Just empty. It's empty space that you're just traversing. You're just running from one side to the other. There's not really any platforming. There are some that there's maybe 1 or 2 enemies, and it's just I just don't like. This just feels like a waste. It's just filler, and that has honestly put me off playing it. It's been a while, a couple of weeks since I last played it. I got it physically, so I can always trade it in. But
can you now? Is that still a thing?
Oh yeah.
Did you get it on Switch?
No, PlayStation.
Oh.
So I could play on the Portal.
You know, Switch is actually portable as well. So you can play that.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'll take that anywhere. Keep it inside.
You don't want to let anybody see you still play one of them.
Yeah.
That game was built for Switch.
Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of the demo when I played that, when everyone was like, oh, it's the best game ever, I can't believe it. Ubisoft, well done, you pulled out the bag. Another thing with Ubisoft games, why you've spent all that money on the game. They're like, yeah, okay, you've bought the game, right? But you need to sign into your Ubisoft account. Well, I don't have a Ubisoft account, Ubisoft. I don't want a Ubisoft account. Oh, well, you can't play. You can't play this game. So you need to sign into UbiConnect. And then I remember Max talking about it, when you get these...
The giant pop-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is annoying.
It's annoying because it doesn't mean anything.
And it really takes you out of the experience because they're like a quarter of the screen, completely different UI. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing happening up there. The rooms are so big, so it's empty space.
That's why they designed the game around the UI. Just like leave space for that.
I'm
with you on the UI shit and signing in and everything. That's always frustrating. I think you're mental about
about the rest. Yeah,
it's really put me off because I was enjoying it.
Big rooms. That's so weird.
It just feels like it's padding for the sake of padding.
It's not, because it's a Metroidvania, so those big rooms sometimes actually end up, you can get to use more of the rooms as you progress.
Yeah, Tyler said that. He's like, yeah, the rooms might do something later on. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not going to be there, am I?
Right, because you are the Metroidvania correspondent of the three of us.
Exactly.
Do you miss the claustrophobia? Is it not?
I think so. I think that's what it was. That there's no little cranny to get stuck in. It's all big wide open space. I was like, give me a cranny, give me a crevice. I'll get stuck in that crevice. Like
a cranny. Oh, right, okay, sorry.
Not cranny. Yeah. It's a daft thing. I will go back to it. I mean, I finished Tales of Kinzera Zhao. Are you taking notes?
Give me a cranny just as a potential title for this episode.
Grab a cranny.
Grab a cranny. Yeah. Like, I finished that and I was told that I was daft for liking that better than Ender Lilies.
Yeah.
And I think I like it better than Prince of Persia. I will say I think that perhaps they're very similar styles.
Quite similar in style.
But Prince of Persia controls well. And Tales of Kinzera I don't think does at all.
Oh, really?
I think you're mad.
I agree.
I think this contrarianism has corrupted your brain. I think you're seeing things that don't exist.
I sat myself down the other week. I was like, you need to have an opinion on things.
You're back on the podcast now. You better form an opinion.
Yeah. So my opinion is the last room's too big.
We'll put that in the agenda for next week, right?
I love the thought that you've been scouring reviews, just being like, well, I need to come up with a unique take on this game. Fantastic presentation, lovely, great to control. Shame about the room size.
It controls like butter. Sargon. Sargon also reminds me of a song called "The Mesopotamians" by They Might Be Giants.
Right,
just throwing it out there as well. Yeah,
go on.
I'll go back.
Do it a bit.
I'll go back. I need to remember. There's another 3 names of that are sang. It's like were the Mesopotamians Sargon, Hammurabi, Ashurbanipal, and Gilgamesh.
Well done.
I remember.
Is that They Might Be Giants? Is that the one? Are they the ones that sing "Build a Little Birdhouse"?
Yes.
Okay, that's the
Birdhouse in Your Soul.
that I know. Yeah,
they also done theme song for Malcolm in the Middle.
I never watched that.
Never.
No, it's good. Oh well.
No.
So yeah, I'll go back to it at some point, but I've more or less parked it.
Yeah,
it's parked.
That's a shame. That is a real shame. I do think we, as a whole, were probably more positive on it than we should have been. Maybe because it was a kind of a pleasant surprise. It was early in the year. I think time will cool everyone's temperature on it. And especially like Alex, ours was, we played it right at the start and it was riddled with bugs, wasn't it?
Still hurts.
Yeah. Did you have to stop your playthrough?
Yeah, I've never finished it.
Yeah.
It was quite near the end. Like I was really quite near to the end, and then I got a game breaking bug, and It's still there, and every so often I go back and load it up, and just in case they fixed it, but no such luck.
Are you sure it's a game-breaking bug and you're not just at the one end of a huge room?
No, it's definitely a game-breaking bug. Because I'm at the top of a huge room.
Oh yeah, I know that room. Because there's stuff, when you first walk into it, you can't see stuff, but later on when you get different abilities, you find other stuff there. It's amazing, isn't it? It's like a Metroidvania in that way. While we're having a little grumpy old men gripe fest, Alan Wake 2. I've been persevering with that.
Persevering doesn't sound too positive.
Well, I mean, it's pretty miserable. That's the, it's not much.
I don't remember it being that miserable.
I mean, no, but we have
when I was
different.
playing it.
We have very different opinions on what is and what isn't miserable. But I will say, all right, let me start off with the positive. The first time when you switch over to Alan and then you walk out into like New York City, I did get #chills. Like I would imagine you would have got at that time, Lewis. 'Cause I thought that was a very cool moment and beautiful. And then it just kind of became slightly annoying. All the, what are they called? The Taken? Every few seconds, just hearing, wake. Constantly.
You're as bad as him.
What? No. This isn't my big gripe. That was just a bit like, yeah, okay, it was creepy and a bit scary to start with. Now it's just annoying. Just shut up, guys. But they didn't respond. So does it lighten up? Because I've got to this isn't a spoiler because I think everyone's been talking about it. The Coffee World bit. And I was expecting
Second level. Yep, well done.
It's a theme park. I was expecting it to be. I was expecting some levity.
That's a classic horror setting, a theme park.
Yeah, but it's so creepy, man. Why is it so creepy?
Why?
It gets lighter.
Okay. Does it though? Because you said that before, and yeah, I don't know. I definitely prefer Saga's bits to Alan's bits. Like that. Her sections feel more like Resident Evil 4, more like a traditional, more grounded experience, whereas Alan's is obviously quite trippy because he's trapped in the dark place and weird stuff happens.
You've got
constantly.
the thing.
Yeah, the flick the light thingy bob. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, it's just odd. It's an odd one. I feel like I'd like to push through it, but it's not pulling me through. I'm not feeling the urge to play it much. It's more like I feel like I should because I told you that I would. I'm probably about 7 hours in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
10 left.
Oh, God.
10 laughter-filled hours left.
And what's weird, the other slightly off-putting thing is some of the chapters are so long and then some of them are so short. I'd like to know, right, you can set aside an hour and get through this because I can get through anything. I can put up with anything for an hour. When it gets beyond that and it's like, when is this going to fucking end? The chapter I'm on at the moment. The chapter I'm on at the moment feels long.
I will say, I did think the Coffee World chapter was a bit long.
Yeah.
Not helped.
I couldn't believe when I got to a bit.
Something.
Yeah, and I'm at that bit now, and it's like, right now, fuck off and find these 4 things. And I just was like, how is this not the end of the chapter? It's been going on ages.
Yeah.
But those aren't my main gripes. My main gripes are...
Jesus.
My main one is Remedy are so bad at maps. The map is awful.
And
why?
That's good.
You just said it's shite. How's that good?
Sorry, I was referring to your opinion.
All right. They're bad. It's just a bad map. Control's bad map. Alan Wake 2, bad.
Nonsense.
How hard is it to make a map? I get they're trying to make it diegetic. Is that the word? I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Is it
make it fit into the world like a real object.
I can't remember it, to be honest. It's like a map. Like it's like the Coffee World map is like a pamphlet style map
Yeah.
that you would get at a theme park.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not.
When there is a map, you moan when there isn't a map. Never happy.
I just want a good map.
Ordnance.
Like Forza Horizon or something.
Yeah, like that. Now there's a map. Yeah, but look, it's okay. It's not a game for me, but I'll stick with it a little bit longer. But I can definitely feel my patience wearing thin.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
But I do agree. That chapter does feel longer, so maybe the other ones will fit better.
yeah. Maybe I'll push through that and see what happens out the other side. But yeah, that's Alan Wake 2 for you, the game that Lewis forced me to play against my will. What a bastard!
Full frontal male nudity in that game as well.
Really?
Now I'm going to play it.
Oh.
You've already taken a picture. And
Oh yeah, I
sent it
took a
to
picture
us,
of myself.
strangely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. A selfie.
That wasn't the game.
Alex, you're playing something altogether more cheerful, though, aren't you?
Yes. So I've also been playing a little bit of Cat Quest. And some people might be a wee bit surprised about this because I fucking hate cats. Like, I genuinely don't like, and I'm terrified.
I'm glad he's out of the
cats.
room.
Yeah.
That's so rude.
So, like, Cat Quest 3 came out, and I'm like, I don't get this whole. And I remember it being in, it was what, is it, a PlayStation State of Play or something? They showed it at some point when Cat Quest 3, and I'm like, that just looks shite. And then they added 1 and 2 to PS Plus. I'm like, right, I'm going to play this first one, and then I just finished it. And I'm like, this is quite a fun wee game, and it's just, you go on a wee quest as a wee cat, and you're going to try and find your sister because somebody's stolen your sister. And you've got one main quest, and then you need to go and complete all these different side quests to get all these different abilities and have a wee sword and fight all these wee beasties. And then it just keeps going for a few hours, and then you get to the final boss and you finish it. And I'm like, I quite enjoyed that. That was quite good. And I'll play the next one. That was the first one, yeah. And it was quite a nice wee game. It was when I was stuck in the sofa having my leg up on the portal. I'm like, yes, thank you very much. And it was very nice. Quite a fun wee experience, and you can forget it's a cat. It's just in the name.
Okay.
Isn't it riddled with cat puns as well?
Yeah, all the places are called like cat places, and it's just like it's cats all over the place, but you can overlook that.
Yeah. Well done you.
But it's a nice wee game. It is a nice wee game.
I played it on Apple Arcade, but I never finished it. Much like any other mobile game, you sort of play it for a little while and go, well, that was something.
How long did it take you to finish, Alex?
3-4 hours. Not a huge amount of time.
Nice. I actually did. I bought that for my wife when I got her a Switch a couple of years ago. And yeah, she never.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. Got that from my wife when I got her pregnant.
Sorry about that. Here's a shite game.
Feels like a cat.
You like cats? Play this game. No, it's one that I've got it downloaded on a Switch somewhere. And I like the look of both Cat Quest 1 and 2. And I think 3, I don't think any people are quite as high on 3 as they were on
It
the
looks
first
quite
two.
nice though, because 3's got a boat.
A
It
boat.
doesn't like a boat.
Yeah. Cats, probably, because they don't like water.
If you captain it though,
That's true.
you're fine.
Okay. Oh, it's pirate themed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those games where I think you played it in the right environment when you know, bedbound, whatever it is, and just wanting to get through a little pleasant experience like that. Yeah. Do you think you'll play the second and third one then?
Yeah, I think I will. I did quite enjoy them, and it's those kind of, although the more I've played like things like Phantom Spark, the more like, no, these are the kind of games I really like. But I think when I get into another wee thing where I'm not sure, then I will just start on the second one because I've got it downloaded and ready to go. So when I'm in that kind of mood, that's probably the one that I'll go for.
Yeah. Nice. Sounds like a 7.
I'm not even sure. Yeah, actually, I was going to say I'm not even sure it goes as high as a 7, but it probably is. To be fair, a 7 because it's well made, plays well, quite funny, good structure, doesn't overstay its welcome. So yeah, 7.
I feel like we've played a lot of 7s recently. It's quite nice. We should do a top 7 sevens episode. I'll note that down as a future topic. Okay, done. Yeah, good. Lewis, anything else you want to say for yourself? Any other
No.
major gripes you want to air?
Don't think so.
Not just about games, anything.
I think I'm gripe free.
That's good.
Do you ever have gripe water?
Isn't that
It's
for
not,
babies?
that's not another flavour of liquid.
That is a baby thing.
It's for
isn't
babies, isn't it? To
Baby
help
thing,
with
Colic?
is it?
Indigestion. Is that what colic is?
it? Yeah, basically.
You tasted it?
No.
Tastes like
Well, I probably did when I was a baby,
herbs.
but
Herbs.
yeah, weird. Just non-specific.
Such a horrible name, isn't it? To give to
Gripe
a baby.
water.
Gripe water. Have your gripe water and your tripe. Yeah.
It's better than tripe water, I guess.
Tripe water.
Which sounds horrible.
Speaking
No
of
grapes.
tripe, should we play a little game? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yes.
yes.
Okay. Let's play. Guess the outro. Turbo! There we go. Yes, that's right. Guess the outro. Turbo is a. It sounds
It's
weird.
worth it
Not having-
just for that.
Yeah. 10 questions. You guess the game I'm thinking of, and that will be the outro music.
Okay.
Easy as pie. I'll give you 3 clues. We'll start off with a clue. I'll give you one halfway, one at the end if you need it. Are we clear on the rules, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yes.
Lewis, I mean, really. Yep.
I'll get them as we go along.
Okay. Okay. Let's start off with clue number 1. This game features lots of different mechanics, one of which is a dodge roll.
That's a good clue. Well
It's a
done.
good clue, because not many
That is a
games
good clue.
have that. So, there you go.
What games have
Ask
you got?
away.
I mean, any FromSoft game has a dodge roll. Enter the Gungeon, Exit the Gungeon. That sort of the games, that sort of stuff.
Should we ask the classic question, Lewis?
Yes,
Is it an indie?
Yes, it is an indie,
has to be.
obviously.
What's an indie game with a dodge roll?
I mean, that's loads. Does I was already thinking of games. That's such a good clue, Ben. Already thinking about. We could just guess this in 10. What's that? Cult of the Lamb, I think, has that. Is it a Devolver game?
Yes. You could be on for a record here.
So that's
for it,
Enter the
ask it.
Gungeon. That's Cult of the Lamb. Do you play an animal? In fact, let me rephrase that question because you took so long. I'm going to assume the answer is no. No. Do you play as an animal?
No.
It's not Cult of the Lamb then. So what other Devolver games are there? So would you say Enter the Gungeon? I don't know what that is.
It was like an early. I think it was out before Switch. It was an early doors Switch game. It's a bullet hell shooter.
Yeah, I'm totally blanking on Devolver games.
You've got a clue in 2 questions.
There's Katana Zero, which is a Devolver game. I actually played a little bit of that the other week.
I think that could be a good shout.
That could be a good shout.
Ben likes Katana Zero. Ben's
got a good
played through
soundtrack.
Katana Zero. It's got a good soundtrack.
I've got a question we could ask for that.
Go.
Ben, do you
Yeah.
play a samurai in like a dressing gown?
A samurai in a dressing gown. No.
So that's not Katana Zero.
No.
Katana Zero.
No dressing gown. So you've got...
Oh, I hope you're not going to pull me up for a... it's not actually a dressing
Technicality,
gown. It's
yes.
It's actually a kimono. No, okay, so it's an indie published by Devolver. You don't play as an animal and you don't wear a dressing gown.
So it's not Katana Zero.
You try and
Thinking.
nail down like time scale. I don't know. But, I mean, most Devolver games have been relatively recent, haven't they?
Yeah. I reckon it's going to be within the last 10 years. 7 or 8 years or something like that.
I mean, I know so many Devolver games, and I can't think off the top of my head of a Devolver game. I'm having a total mind blank here.
Always the way. But
You've
with
got,
a
so you've got
dog
one more
roll.
question and then the clue. You're going to laugh when you get to the clue as well, if you get to it.
Let's get to the clue. Does the game have a sequel?
Yes. It does.
Right.
And the clue is... it's published by Devolver Digital.
No. We need a new clue.
I'll come up with a new clue. In fact, you've almost just ruined the last clue as well.
It's got a sequel.
This has a sequel and an arcade spin-off.
And an arcade spin-off. It might be Enter the Gungeon.
Try it.
Is it Enter the Gungeon, Ben?
Yes.
Yay!
It is Enter the Gungeon. Well done, Lewis. You said that right at the start as well. That was the first game that you mentioned, and I was like, shit! Yeah, it's well done. Enter the Gungeon. Too good of a first clue.
I hope that... Yeah, the first clue was very good.
Yeah.
It was a good clue, though. You don't
It is a good clue because it's developed by a company called Dodge Roll.
Dodge Roll, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the double clue in a way. Too good.
I feel
Too
that I've...
benevolent.
yeah. I've made up for my rubbish performances with that, I think.
Finally, he comes
Well,
good. Alex.
I'd have never got that one.
There you go.
So
No, I'm genuinely impressed, almost to the point of being slightly pissed off. So well done. Fucking hell.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's genuinely like the whole aim of this is to see how pissed off we can get you by getting all these right.
Well, congratulations. You've pissed me right off. But it just means I'm going to have to ratchet up the difficulty yet again next time around. But have you've played Enter the Gungeon, haven't you, Lewis?
Yes.
Yeah.
I played it not that long ago. It's one of those games that I'll stick on the Switch just to, if I'm looking for something to play but don't know what to pick, I'll have a shot at Enter the Gungeon. I've never got that far. It's quite. I find it quite difficult.
It's true.
But I like it.
Yeah, it's really good. Alex, particularly, what we were speaking about earlier about just playing a game that you can kind of dip in and dip out of, do a little run, put a good little loadout together. It's
I know next to nothing about it. I don't even know what it is essentially.
it's basically a dungeon crawler, but you've got all the weapons fire guns, don't they? Is that right? Or is it just one weapon that does that?
There is a gun that fires guns, but yeah, there are weapons that do some pretty cool things.
Silly things, yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And then, and then the sequel is Exit the Gungeon.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be your last clue, was the sequel sees you trying to escape the same place you were trying to get into in the first game, which obviously would have been too much of a giveaway, given that you said Enter the Gungeon as soon as I said features a dodge roll. And yeah, the arcade spin-off is House of the Gun Dead, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which I've obviously never seen in real life, but would be quite cool to try that out at some point.
Yeah, because the gun dead are the bullets
Yeah.
that sort of toddle about the place.
Yeah. So maybe it's I assume it's a light gun game. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I should have probably researched that. Pretty
Sounds
cool
like it'd be a
either
good
way.
VR game.
Yeah. Could well be. But yeah, that is Enter the Gungeon. I'm going to go and make next week's quiz much harder. The soundtrack is really good. I was actually, when I was listening to the soundtrack by Dose One, who's done Sludge Life. I don't know if you guys played them. Sludge Life 1 and 2. He did the soundtrack for those. Disc Room.
Yes,
well.
I played Disc Room.
Yeah, did the soundtrack for that. Another Devolver one. And Escape Academy as well, Alex. You played that as well, haven't you?
I played a bit of that.
Yeah. And there is a song on there that made me chuckle because it made me think of Smark. It's called Oubliette Sting. And that's the first time I've ever seen the word oubliette in any other context other than, Mark's dungeon. So yeah, the song we are going to play is called I think it's called Enter the Gun, actually. It's very cool. It's like the opening first song we hear. And it's a banger from Enter the Gungeon.